Hola chicos, ¿cómo va todo? Okay, so hoy vamos a ver un texto, vamos a leerlo y contestar las preguntas después. So we're going to look at a text. Es del examen 2013. Okay, so it's from the 2013 exam en página 100 y 101, okay, de los papeles of the papers. So, en primer lugar, first thing I want us to do is leer el título y ver la imagen, just to get an idea of what the text might be about. Okay, so read the title, Vuelta al cole con mochila digital y ver el dibujo. And having a look at that, you can see unos estudiantes, you can see some students, and they all look like they're working on una tableta or un iPad, on a tablet or an iPad. So it's something about school, vuelta, del verbo volver. Return to school, you should know what a mochila is, your school bag, digital. So returning to school with a digital school bag, basically. So el texto se trata del uso de la tecnología en los institutos o los colegios. So we're guessing it might possibly be about la tecnología, technology in schools. Okay, so let's just go through the 4 sections you're going to have to answer, okay, because this will prepare you for the exam, the end of year exam. So numero uno, answer the following questions in English. Okay, so answer the following questions in English. Why have certain schools not introduced many of the new technologies? So I started to do this, but said it's better to explain it. So just even there, what's the word I know for schools? Colegios, institutos. So we have a link, paragraph 1, we're looking for one of those words. Número dos, according to the text, what are 2 uses of the iPad? Usos, utilizar might be something that comes up, y iPad, el mismo, or la misma palabra, same word, paragraph 2. 2 details about the interactive biology book. So we should all know the word for book is libro, and biology, biología. What is said about the school principal? Can you remember the word for principal? Paragraph 4, we're going to be looking for that, but we'll probably see her name in it. Directora. And what problem does the Torre Atalaya school experience with the internet? So we should all know the word there is problema con internet. Okay, paragraph 5. So just so you have an idea of what the key link in the text is going to be. So that's the first part, answer in English. Número 2. Escribe en español las frases del texto que tengan el mismo sentido. Okay, so write in Spanish, in the spaces below, the phrases from the text that have the same meaning. So this is where our synonyms come in. So in paragraph 1, I'm going to have to find a Spanish phrase that means the same as this, etc. Second thing you'll have to do. Número 3. Explica en inglés el sentido de las frases siguientes. So explain in English the meaning of these following. So again, I'm going to have to look for these in paragraphs 1, 4 y 5 y explicarlas en inglés. So traducirlas. So that's where our translation comes in. And then the last bit, part 4, you're going to have to explica en español. So explain one of these 2 phrases another way in Spanish. So that's where synonyms come in again. Okay, so they're the 4 bits you'll be examined on. And what we're going to do today is go through this one together. I'd like to model how I would approach it. And then I'm going to ask you to do the second long text on the 2013 paper. Okay, so remember on Friday we spoke about the long comprehensions. We said we give ourselves about 35 minutos, 30-35 minutes. Okay, so as I'm going through this, I'm going to underline or highlight some important things. Think about translating it in my head and then think about answering some of the questions. So what I'm going to do is actually take a paragraph by paragraph. Okay, and in paragraph 1, I know I'm going to have to answer this question. Why certain schools have not introduced many of the technologies. I know I'm going to have to translate this to Spanish. Find the phrase that means this in Spanish. Solo hay una pequeña posibilidad. Should be able to understand that, guys. There is a small possibility. And this one I'm going to have to do in paragraph 1. Han optado por lanzarse el agua. And already you should know that's your perfect. You probably know what agua means, and lanzarse is a verb. Vale, we'll have a look at it. Okay, so número uno. Okay. Ordenadores, portátiles, pizarras digitales, netbooks, tabletas. I'm guessing that's just a list of apparatus that might be used. Son términos que poco a poco. Nice little phrase for essays, guys. Poco a poco, little by little. Comienzan, there's our present tense verb, a instalarse en la realidad escolar. Realidad, it's one of our DAD words. We know it means reality. Escolar, school. Desde hace unos años. Lovely phrase, you're going to see that a bit. Desde hace, up until a few years ago. Vale, la enseñanza we've seen, primaria y secundaria, ha ido modernizándose. Okay, so we know that's something about enseñar, to teach. Primary and secondary school teaching has something, not too sure maybe even what that is, but I can see an ando in there. So I know it's an ing verb. Been modernizing para adaptarse a las nuevas tecnologías. So it's been modernizing to adapt itself to the new technologies. En el futuro habrá internet en cada aula, en cada sala. In the future, we should know this one, del verbo haber, will there be internet in every room y un ordenador para cada alumno, cada estudiante. Will there be internet in every room and a computer for every student? Es poco probable. Vale, es poco probable, that's nice. It's certain, basically, or it's es poco, it's not certain, it's es poco probable, it's less likely, ¿vale? Ya que antes ese mar de oportunidades, so before this mar, el mar, think of el mar, mariscos, café del mar, sea. So before this sea of opportunities, hay institutos que han optado por lanzarse al agua. I know that's one of my questions. Y otros que sencillamente han preferido invertir sus recursos en otras necesidades. So it's less likely, or it's poco, it's very little likely. It's very little likely. It's not likely, basically. Okay, so there's little probability of it, because before this sea of opportunities, hay institutos, there are schools that have opted to lanzarse al agua, throw themselves into the water, y otros que sencillamente, that simply, han preferido invertir, poner su dinero, so invest, or, to invest, sus recursos, the resources, en otras necesidades, into other necessities. That's paragraph 1. Vale? Okay, so going back to my questions then. Why have certain schools not introduced many of the new technologies? Well, what have they preferred to do? Invest their resources in other necessities. Here. Solo hay una pequeña posibilidad. Okay, so hay una pequeña posibilidad. Posibilidad, probabilidad. Think of in English. Probability, possibility, similar. Es poco probable. That was in paragraph 1. And aquí. Han optado por lanzarse al agua. They have opted to throw themselves into the water. And that's my paragraph 1 done. That took what? Sorry, my questions from part 1 done. That took me about, 6-7 minutes, leaving you with smaller paragraphs to go. Okay, so if you want to stop here with the video, that's fine, and you can complete the rest of the text on your own. If you want me to do, or to watch me do another paragraph, I'm going to go through número 2. Okay, so in number 2, I know I have to answer this question. 2 uses of the iPad. I have to figure out another word for this. Máquina, a machine. Imprescindible, lovely word you might have seen before. Vital or essential. Y algo más. The other thing that comes from that is hace descuentos a estudiantes. Hace, you know that's from your verb hacer. Un descuento, you'll hear it loads in your listening. Un descuento, a discount to estudiantes. And if I'm right, we've already seen the word come up, alumnos. So you've half that translated. So basically they make or they give, actually I've just said something there, dar, descuentos, or actually another word for descuentos maybe is ofertas. So things are going off in my head as well. So basically it's saying that they give discounts to students, but another word might be oferta, or it might be something linked into a precio, a price, a lower price, baja, or bajo, más bajo. So just things are going off in my head as well, what might go in there. Okay, so número dos. Móviles y consolas no son enemigos del estudio. So they're not enemies of study, aunque pueden distraer. So there's my verbs again, guys, really important. That's a lovely word. It comes up a lot, aunque, although. Apple que desde hace unos años, up until a few years ago, or for the last few years, hace descuentos a estudiantes. That's that bit there that I have to translate another way in Spanish. Y promueve el uso de sus aparatos. So it promotes the use of its apparatus, or its, what would you call it, its goods. En el ámbito educativo, in the school something. In the school ámbito, ambience, environment. Cuenta con el aparato, estrella, la tableta, iPad. So there's my bit about, so iPad has just come up and I know I have to look for two uses of it. El precio no invita a convertirlo en herramienta obligatoria. You probably don't know that word, but this word you do know. So the price doesn't invite it to convert into a something obligatory. Let's think about that. The price doesn't invite it to convert or to become an obligatory something. Think about what you might use for learning. You look that word up and you'll figure out it means tool. A pesar de comes up a lot, nice phrase. Tener cada vez un abanico mayor de programas educativos. You won't see that a lot, but they use them a lot in Spain, fan. So in spite of having a wide fan or a big fan or a big kind of range of educative or educational programs. So what does it tell us about the iPad? Ayuda a tomar apuntes, pero con complementos multimedia. Hay programas para coordinar el horario. Incluye una alarma para no llegar tarde. So some of that you should be able to make out. Ayuda a tomar apuntes, what you do in class. It helps to tomar, to take notes. Hay programas para coordinar el horario, your timetable. Y también hay una alarma para no llegar, another verb, tarde. So there's 3 uses of the iPad. That was the first bit, so I should be able to do those 2 now. And this one here, máquina imprescindible. So an essential machine. We saw it there. Herramienta, obligatoria. What was the other thing I had to do then? And translate that another way. Okay, so that's me done with paragraphs 1 and paragraphs 2. And it's taken me about 11-12 minutes. Okay, so you still have a good 18 minutes left to tackle your last 3 paragraphs and get that reading comprehension done. So guys, I'm going to ask you to give yourself another 20 minutes to see can you get that finished, the last 3 paragraphs. Then I'm going to ask you to time yourselves and complete the next one. Okay, so 30-35 minutes to do the next one. Obviously this work is going to take you over 2 lessons, so lunes y martes. Vale? Any questions, send them to me and we will look at the answers for both of them on Wednesday. Gracias.